Hey, this is Michael Lawrence Peel. I want to give you a condensed version of the Boost Fuel Tabs by Govvi, the little purple pill that's taken the world by storm. You may have known, we may have met at a trade show. I may have talked to you already. We may have exchanged emails, talked on the phone. Someone may have just sent you here. But the little purple pill that is brought to us by Govvi is changing the world, and I want to give you a overview of it. Let me ask you a simple little question. Have you seen this little purple pill that can boost the mileage of an engine anywhere from 5 to 30%? It also increases the power and the performance of the motor and drastically reduces the toxic emissions. That's the introductory process that usually gets a person to stop for a second and say, what is this? What is the product? It's a fuel catalyst that transforms any carbon-based fuel into a supercharged, high-octane, cleaner burning version of itself. We refer to it as the Boost Fuel Tab by Govvi. Now, this Boost Fuel Tab is what it is in a nutshell is a little purple pill that changes the molecular structure of any type of fuel, causing it to burn quicker and more completely, thereby reducing emissions, boosting the power in the engine, and increasing hours of operation or miles per gallon, mileage per tank. Now, depending on what you're measuring, ag equipment, for example, is not interested in how many miles you go. They want to know how many hours of operation they have. And long haul truckers or driving back and forth to work, how many less tanks of gas do I need to get the same distance? So you're looking at miles per gallon. So the how does it do what we tell you that it does? It instantly dissolves in the fuel, and as it becomes part of the fuel, it basically obliterates the unstable large and small molecule structure and changes them into nano-sized particles. Makes everything a whole lot more even and efficient. It's based on a 6-time Nobel Prize winning technology in chemistry. It is fully EPA approved, has more than 650 million miles of third-party road testing. Not company endorsed, not manufacturer, third party. That means people that are using the product, testing it and coming back and saying, yes, we're going to continue to use this. It's been used for 30 years in the mining and aerospace industry before Govvi turned it into the little purple pill that you and I can use with ease. Now, the way I got my head personally wrapped around the science, now this is not scientific, is you got a campfire. Which of those forms of wood are going to burn the quickest and the most complete? It's not a trick question. I mean, everybody knows the answer to that. They're all wood, but one is quicker and more complete. The shaved kindling, of course, right? You put that on that fire, you put the log on, it's going to go, okay, I'll burn eventually. This is a very rough analogy of what Boost Fuel Tabs by Govvi does to any fuel. It causes the fuel to act like kindling for quicker burning fuel and near complete 100% burn with very little emissions left over. So when you start taking those pieces, remember that, because I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So what does all that mean to you? The Govvi treated fuel burns quicker, which gives the extra boost in power to the engine while running smoother. Quicker means it ignites completely and at the very beginning of the combustion cycle. So at 600 degrees, all of it explodes. Not some of it at 9 and some of it at 12 and some of it never. It all explodes at the beginning of the cycle. That just gives the engine, it gives it more power and kick. That's what racing fuel is about. It's about a higher octane. It's about a higher, quicker burn rate. Govvi treated fuel burns to near 100%, which reduces the amount of fuel that is used to run the motor, because you're using more of it, so you need less of it because you're using more of the amount that's put in every time it goes into its power cycle. And what typically happens is it's doing it at a lower RPM rate. You're not having to rev it and push it as hard, especially on working vehicles. They're finding that they're not having to push it as hard because there's more power there. And the Govvi treated fuel reduces exhaust emissions and consequently the carbon buildup, which is a killer inside the motors, by as much as 85%. I mean, look at the picture here on the side here, the bottom picture. I mean, it's night and day. Look at that cylinder. It's all carbonized and build up and gunk that's getting in the way of the valves lifting and opening for the intake and the exhaust. And you look at the other one, it's all nice and shiny. Now, they didn't take this engine apart and clean it. They actually photographed it before they started using Govvi boost fuel tabs and afterwards. That's what it will do to your engine. It'll clean it up, make it work that much more efficiently. Now, we've got testimony after testimony, because really what it comes down to is I can tell you all kinds of stuff, but until you actually try the product for yourself, you're not really going to be totally convinced. I mean, no, I was the same way. So we've got people that have used it and they're going, my goodness, I got to share this. We've got a whole site devoted to that. Now, I just grabbed two of them. It says, I just realized something. Since using Govvi, it's like buying 2 tanks of gas and getting one free. I was getting 325 miles on a tank of gas. My first tank with Govvi, I got an additional 133 miles. Now, this is non-solicited. This is people just coming back going, my goodness. My second, I got an additional 168 miles on the same tank of gas that they usually would get less than that. That's 301 extra miles with 2 tanks of gas. That's almost a full tank of gas free. Minus, of course, the $6 for, $3 per tab. I mean, she's liking those kind of savings. Look at the mileage. 19.6 before Govvi. The second one, first Govvi tab, 26 miles per gallon. The second one, 27.6. So there's a definite increase in improvement going from 19 to 27. That's a significant improvement. You can see why the extra miles are happening, because you're getting more miles per gallon. Now, on the right hand side of the picture, that's another testimony from somebody in Canada. Now, in Canada, we use a kilometer system, where it means you're measuring the amount of liters that you're using, or pints that you're using per 100 kilometers traveled, and then they're using that. So 12 liters per 100 kilometers is where it started, and then that drops down drastically to 5.5 liters. Well, that's not rocket science to figure out. That's like 50% less consumption. So that's a really good report on how this product works. There's places you can go to find out more about that. Just ask the person that sent you here, or ask me later. There's a Facebook page that shares tons and tons and tons of these testimonies over and over and over again. So you're going to save money, and you're going to positively affect the environment. Govvi fuel tabs reduces CO2 emissions by up to as much as 85%. Some cases more, some cases less, but there's a massive reduction. And thereby it reduces your consumption of DEF in diesel engines. People that run diesel engines know what that is. It's diesel exhaust fluid. It's an extra fluid that's primarily water, but it's got some chemicals in it or something the air goes through this little tube chamber, and it says, you've got too much exhaust in there, we're going to spray in this DEF. It'll reduce the amount that's going out the tailpipe. My personal testimony is we got Ram 3500 diesels that one's deleted, one's not. We use the one with DEF in it, and usually a week to 9-10 days, we're pouring more of a jug of DEF in. That's $40 or $50 in consumption. We went 6 weeks without putting DEF in once we started using the Govvi boost tabs. That's significant. That says the gauges inside are working, because there's no exhaust coming out that is harmful to the environment. So those are massively powerful things. Now, for larger fuel tanks, you would simply use more tabs in ratio approximately of 1 tab per 20 gallons or so. On the packaging, it says it treats 15 to 20 gallons. Somewhere in that regard. So 80 to 90 liters of fuel, just for simple math, let's just say it's 100 liters. So you get the idea. So on an piece of ag equipment or a semi truck, 1,000 liters or 200 gallons, whichever country you're in, it would take approximately 10 pills instead of 1 per, family vehicle. If you get 20% increase, conservatively, if you get a 20% increase in hours of operation on your farm equipment, or miles per gallon on your semi truck, that's roughly about 200 liters extra, right? 20% of 1,000 liters, 200 liters cost nowadays. That's like $400. That'll change around based on, it's going to drop a little bit, it's going to go up again. But the fact is that you're getting that percentage increase. So for $30 worth of pills, give or take, you're saving a cost of 200 liters of fuel or 200 gallons of fuel. Not a bad trade-off. I mean, those things are they you definitely want to get into understanding of what that is, and you can see why we've gone from 20 or 30 countries when we first launched on June 23rd, 2022, to we're well over 60 and growing of people that want this product because it just works. Because one of the key things is it's not so much now about the type of vehicle and the driving habits or the distances or even the cleanliness of it. It's about the quality of the fuel. When you can improve the fuel by changing it from large unstable molecules that burn haphazardly to obliterating it and turning it into microscopically nanobite-sized molecules that explode immediately, everything just starts to work better. Everything works better. The knocking goes away, the run-ons go away, the power increases, the consumption decreases. There's all these benefits that start to happen from that. Now, the Department of Defense and the aerospace industry, they're no strangers to this. In the U.S., they've been using organometallics technology. That's the thing that won the Nobel Prize 6 times. The organometallics technology. They've been using it for over 30 years. And the technologies provided to these federal organizations in the United States comes from the very same laboratory that manufactures these Govvi tabs for us. That's the place that makes these. And so, and in the United States, there's total 400 million miles of testing that's been conducted. So they know it works. That's not the issue. It's not whether or not the little purple pill does what it does. It does every single time. What the real issue is, are you going to use it in yours, and are you going to continue to use it and tell other people about it? So, in a nutshell, the only thing better than saving money on the cost of fuel is getting paid when other people save on their fuel. Now, Govvi has created a word-of-mouth rewards program. Remember what I said before? You're going to tell somebody about it. I dare you not to. When you find something that's this good, you're going to tell your brother, your sister, your relative, your boss, your baker, or the guy you don't like. I mean, you're going to tell everybody about it. So we've created a word-of-mouth rewards program. When you tell someone else about the little purple pill that can, you're going to get a 20% thank you override every time that person makes a purchase. And all you did was point him to a website that has your name attached in behind the scenes. The company looks after it. They provide it. It's like an Amazon bookstore. You go in and you go 1, 2, or 3, address, send. And when they purchase, the company does all the work. They send the product out and they put the money in your account. It's a pretty good deal. The rewards program is so strong that for some people, it has become a great extra source of income. And in these days, who doesn't want or need a few extra dollars? So if that's something that is of interest to you in learning about more, let us know and we can have that discussion. But either way, the first thing you need to do is go place an order. Go get your engine on the pill. Go save on your next fuel purchase. You're going to be glad you did. So let me summarize this thing really quickly. Save money on fuel you use, improve your engine and performance, reduce the emissions, and get paid to share it. That's a pretty sweet deal. People always ask me, well, how do you share this? Really simple. Ask people this simple question. Have you seen the little purple pill that can boost the mileage of any engine anywhere from 5 to 30%? That's a great icebreaker. People will go, yes, or no, I haven't. Tell me more. And it also increases the power and the performance. Now, when they say, tell me more, here's another really quick response. Well, I'm not an expert. You don't have to get into explaining it to them. But I know it works. Once you've tried the product, you know it works. And it costs between $3 to $5 to treat a tank, and I save around $20 or $30, whatever it ends up being. If you're driving a semi, we got semi drivers that are telling us they're saving up to $1,500 in their trips using these tabs. And then you can just simply say to them, I can share a link with you where you can buy some to try it out for yourself if you like. And that's the company website that we give you. And the page that they're going to end up on is it's not a big salesy page. It's like an Amazon place. Go get a starter pack, a family pack, or a business pack. Boom. Just pick one of those and place your order. Get the product. You're going to be so glad you did. Now, once you try it, you're going to notice the power increase. I guarantee you, you're going to notice it. Less emissions. You may not notice that, but your car will. If you got a diesel, you'll know that you're not putting it in, but you're going to notice. Because the performance is going to be better. The engine is going to start running smoother. It's going to start up quicker. It's going to idle nicer. All of these things start to happen because you haven't got that unburnt fuel in the form of carbon building up inside your engine. And it's going to improve the fuel economy. So the bottom line is, don't delay, go order today. I thank you for joining me here. Hopefully you learned something, and you hurry up and go get your tabs, because that's the best way to go about doing it. May God bless you in all your efforts going forward. May you have a wonderful and prosperous day, and I look forward to talking to you again.